My favorite subject, hidden agendas. Oh my, Michael. Yes, hidden agendas, folks, are those secrets and lies that you've been holding and hiding and keeping private for probably most of your life. And they range all over the map, usually involving some kind of grief, some kind of major, major loss that has occurred in your life. And one of the things we found out from long-term group members was that they figured out finally that it set their disease in motion. It didn't necessarily cause their disease, but it kind of let their guard down. That this chronic feeling of grief just eventually wore the body out.
One of the reasons why we refer to it as hidden agendas is because oftentimes these are hidden and not exposed, sometimes not even shared between couples or between family members, but really are things that need to be shared so that people can actually have a better experience through this process that they're going through. Is that when you know that someone has had a traumatic experience in their life and that this is generating even more of a reaction to something that has happened in the past, resolving it and working through it is, I think, very valuable.
Well, what happens is you leak it out. It's not that you want to blare it out, but you want little escape valves. So you'll have a conversation with a close friend, or you'll have a conversation with a total stranger, which is even more interesting. Being able to share that with someone who has no opinion.
I think that's one of the values of participating in a group is that you actually have a place where you can put some of this information and safely share it, so that it's not necessary. You can kind of hear what it sounds like to say it,
right?
Because sometimes these are things that you haven't even said to yourself, let alone to another person. And being able to share that information in such a way that basically gets it out of your head, through your mouth, and into the room,
into the air. It's in your ears, it's in your head, and other people can relate to what you're talking about. That whether it's a therapy group or a support group, confidentiality is critical. And the safer a place is, the more the facilitator is able to maintain confidentiality, the safer you will feel in whatever room you've chosen to go into.
One of the things that I think I'm going to just share with you as the voyeur is that there's many people who have been involved in a program of recovery and things of that nature, and that a lot of times that's what I have seen over the years, that people will use those kind of groups where they can basically share something that could be pretty difficult to share with family or even close friends, and be able to drop that kind of information out into the room and see how it sounds. Kind of play with it a bit so that they can know, what do I need to do to deal with it? Because a lot of times these are very painful memories, or they're things from our past.
They're shameful.
Exactly. There's a lot of shame attached to some old stuff, and that resolving that stuff can actually make this process that you're going through from a medical standpoint go a lot more smoothly.
Right. Well, it's making amends with yourself. And for those of you who do participate in some kind of an AANA recovery, you'll know what I'm talking about. It becomes a way of making amends to not only friends and family, but for yourself, for your own being. And that can be, it's not going to save your life, but it'll certainly do some things to soften whatever period of time you have left.
It gets this stuff out of the way so that you can actually focus on the things that really matter at this point in time, which is the health care that you receive, the kind of care that you want to have, and also the experience that your family and friends have with you.
Yes, because by clearing the air, you're going to get away from the anger and the rage that sometimes family and friends feel towards you. I mean, let's face it, at this point in your life, Michael, you want people participating with you, because at some point you're going to need their participation. Mm-hmm. Your family members are going to need their participation. So you don't want to continue to push away and alienate. Mm-hmm. Making amends is an easy way to do it.
Absolutely. And I also think that hidden agendas, they come from everybody that you're dealing with, and there may be reasons why your family starts to have conversations with your physician that you're not aware of, or they have reached out to your physician and they're actually interested in what's going on, but they're wanting to have a separate conversation from you. And that's something that you may have set up.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't realize that you set it up, but because it's very important for you to have someone who can make decisions for you if you can't. But the reality is that also gives them access to those folks to ask questions and to start to have a separate conversation from you.
Okay. One of the things I want to make it real clear, for end-stage patients, your ability to make decisions and to express yourself becomes extremely limited. So if you haven't set this up, your family is standing there with egg on their face saying, I don't know what they want. We never discussed that. I don't know what the last phase is to me. You're expecting me to make decisions that I can't help with.
And I think that's a good segue into just making sure that you complete the legal documents
Yes.
surrounding this, because that will help you get your needs met. Because if you're not in a position to speak, someone has to speak for you.
Okay, I would just like to kind of finish up. Message 3 is hidden agendas, and we talk about yours and theirs. Insurance, physicians, who's responsible, medical, and family. It seems like a long list, but every item on this list becomes more and more important as you go through the process. Doesn't mean you're going to deteriorate overnight. It just means that every time they do treatment, you're going to lose a little bit of time because you're not going to have the energy and the mental capacity to finish up or express how you feel. So if you can do it in segments and segues, you are probably going to have treatment and get better for a period of time. When you are at that point of feeling better and able to basically live a normal life, that's when you take action. Don't flitter that time away.